Hey guys, this is V2 Vengeance, and this time it's going to be more of a talk video. So it's not going to be the normal video that I usually do, where I comment on a replay on and all that stuff. So basically, in this video, I'm going to talk about why Wargaming hasn't introduced yet multi-core support, and basically, I'm going to talk. I'm going to go a little bit into the details. And first of all, I want to make clear why I'm making these videos, because every time I go to the World of Tanks Facebook page, it's just full of people complaining that multi-core support isn't here. They've already been doing maps, why are they not making this, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try and explain. I'm going to try to do my best to explain to you why they haven't introduced this yet. So you could say people are saying that they are doing maps and all that kind of stuff, but they are not introducing multi-core support. So first of all, it is true that multi-core support, they've said that they are going to introduce it for quite some time. However, first I want to say that it is extremely hard to code this kind of thing. So first of all, I'm going to try to explain to you, so you will be able to understand better how game developer companies are basically, how making a game, what it takes to make a game basically. So I'm going to go from the easiest parts to the heaviest parts to do. This is how long it takes to make them and so on. So the easiest things to do are the sound effects basically. These are the easiest things to do. And in that matter, I think Wargaming should change some of the voices. But other than that, I think the game is pretty okay. I mean, the voices are okay also, but the British voices are so badass that other nations need badass voices as well. So, as I was saying, sound is the easiest part. Now, how it goes up, well, I'm not going to go into details. As I said, I'm trying to make you guys understand as easy as possible. Secondly, we have the 3D modeling. Now, 3D modeling means making tanks, and basically it takes talent to make them. However, a very talented 3D artist is like a drawer. They know what to do, so like it's not going to be like how it is the first time you're trying to make it. It is going to take them a while, but still it's not really the heaviest things to do from what I'm going to say. Next thing is the maps, basically, where you put together all basically why I'm saying the maps are harder to make is because basically to make a map you need the 3D models. So it's like the 3D models are some sort of subcategory of the maps. So you need, for example, you need the guys that make 3D models, and then you place them on the map, and you set the colliders and so on and so forth. So you eventually get a map that's playable. Now, because this is, as you can see, I haven't even got to any programming yet. So as you can see, making the maps is not really the hardest thing, and this is why they are making maps at the moment. HD textures. HD textures go into the artist branch. So I'm not saying they're easy, not at all, but I'm saying that given the fact they have a lot of people, they can create those 3D models and maps a lot easier than other things. Now, moving on, we have basically the surface programming. So surface programming is basically what we can see, and it's all about the our interactions with the computer. So the user interface, the RNG, the matchmaker, things that we can notice when we are playing. So also, for example, how tanks are behaving, all that stuff. This is the surface programming, and this is not easy. And as I said, and none of those are easy, but I'm trying to, as I said, make them in some sort of pyramid depending on the time they need to make. So basically, if they are, I don't know, complicated, you know, very very complicated. Well, you get what I'm saying. So if there takes a lot of time, this is the main idea. Now, surface programming is not the slowest of them all, and it's still pretty slow. So you don't really see, for example, accuracy changes. They are not happening so fast. Actually, it depends more on the gameplay. But as you can see, when Wargaming decided they were going to change the accuracy, they changed it in a couple of patches. So it's not really that hard. Now we're getting to the hardest part, and the hardest part is the in-depth programming. It's not really actually called like that in reality, but I'm trying to give it a name so you will be able to understand it better. So the in-depth programming is, for example, the physics. Those are in-depth programming. So, and this is still, you could say this is somewhere between surface programming and in-depth. Actual in-depth programming is multi-core rendering, and that is extremely hard because basically what you need to do is not like, I don't know if any of you guys try to make a game, but normally you would have the game engine, which in the World of Tanks case is how you call it, Big World. And to give you an example, I don't know if you tried in a strategy game to create your own maps. Well, imagine the game engine is not only that you can place objects, but you don't have pre-made objects. You have to make the objects yourself. Also, you have to make all the scripts yourself. So it's not like the programming part. It's not like there is already made a script in order to, I don't know, walk, or I don't know. You have to make it all by yourself. So the in-depth programming is basically you're working almost on the processor. You're working on a deeper level than the game engine. You have to work in the game engine's code. This is what you need to do. And given the fact that World of Tanks is already a complex game, modifying the game engine itself is extremely hard. This is why I put also the physics here, because they had to modify the, well, I just team killed an ally here. I put the physics in here because they also had to modify the game engine in order to introduce all those new physics. So the main idea is that in-depth programming is the hardest of them all to achieve. And so you can clearly see that when you're programming on that level, it is almost impossible not to fuck up something else, and you really need to make a lot of tests. And I can't even stress out how many time you need to make those tests. You implement something very easy and it takes a lot of time to, yeah, you know, to actually make it work. So you have the logic, but from there to actually making it work, it's a long way. So as I was saying, from the in-depth programming, the this multi-core rendering, multi-core support actually is one of the hardest thing you can possibly make. And it takes, just to give you an example, and also the multi-core is a type of thing where not a lot of people can work. It's like if they can't think all the same, the way they're going to work is going to interfere. So they're not going to have the maximum randomment. I don't know how it's called in English. Yeah, you know, the maximum. You get what I'm saying. So where I'm trying to get with this is that, for example, the 3D artists, they don't really need to think the same in order to make objects that are going to fit in the same map. You just are going to say that you want something from World War II and some sort of, I don't know, village, and they are going to do their job because they are experiencing this. When it comes to programming, you can't really mix up different minds in there. So not only that they can't put as many people as they do in 3D, the 3D side and the maps, but the thing itself is a lot harder. You need a lot more time for it to make, so you're sure not going to destroy anything else that's already there. So to give you an example, I think it is it takes at least 100 times more time to make this multi-core rendering compared to the maps. Well, they're not going to take that long, but as I said, it is very hard to achieve it. So this is why it's taking Wargaming so long, even though they said they're going to make it a long time ago. They also have to tweak a lot of things like bots, and really when I think about this, it's also this matchmaker thing. And the matchmaker, really, why they are not implementing it is because when they first designed the game, they didn't design the game to have skill based matchmaker. They just designed it to be, so to say, the matchmaker. So the matchmaker, really, it's how it looks like now. It doesn't really look like they, I don't know, they are planning to do anything with it. On the other hand, and that's a minus, to be honest. I mean, they really need to have skill based matchmaker like they have in Strongholds. They introduced it in Strongholds, but when it comes to normal matchmaker, yeah, the time for you to find a game will increase, but still it is doable, and I don't think it's going to take that much time. So that's the only thing that you could really say they need to make skill based matchmaker. On the other hand, this multi-core rendering thing, it takes so much time and effort that, well, you need to try to make your own game to understand what I'm saying the best way. I mean, I'm trying to make you understand as much as I can, but in order to feel it, like to know it, like, you know, you need to try to make a game for yourself. And even then, you're probably only going to do surface programming. You're not going to modify the code of the game engine itself. It's on the next level. I can't do that. I'm going to say this from the start. I made a couple of games, but modifying the game engine is well behind me. There is a specialization for that. So the conclusion of this video is that I'm sure the multi-core rendering is in progress, but it takes so much time to make, and they can't really assign that much people on it, as I said before, because their minds will interfere. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time, but eventually we're going to have it. I can assure you that. So as far as multi-core rendering goes, I'm sure we're going to get it. I don't know how fast, but we're going to have it. So yeah, as I said, why I made this video is because I saw the World of Tanks Facebook page and people always complain about this and the matchmaker. The matchmaker really is, as I said, I don't know about you, but I just feel like Wargaming doesn't really care that much about this matchmaker. But multi-core rendering, that is on the way. They also need to make the new physics, to tweak them and all that stuff. But as I said, I'm sure they have a special team for those, because yeah, you can't really put a lot of people in them. So I hope you guys understood what I was trying to say, and maybe right now you're going to be more patient about it. Those of you who weren't impatient, because I'm sure there were a lot of people who were patient, and maybe some of you even knew in details why. But as I was saying, yeah, I'm just trying to, well, I'm not really trying to get on Wargaming site here because I'm just trying to tell you the truth. So, because to be honest, there are a couple of things that if Wargaming could do, I'd be really happy. And I mean, are not even things related to the game itself. It's like, I talked to some of their staff and about me becoming a community contributor, because I noticed there are a couple of other channels that they have the same amount of subscribers, maybe a little bit more, or they had at least when they became, and it would really help my channel out, and it would also be a great goal to achieve personally. So as far as that goes, yeah, no, it's not like I'm trying to defend wargaming, but I'm just trying to tell the truth here, because I saw a lot of people just are not informed well enough on this, and they think wargaming just is not doing that. I can assure you that they are doing it, and if I am wrong and they are not working on it, then well, but that's not the case. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please think about rating it and have an absolutely awesome day. I'll catch you later.